Hey, Dharmendra, thanks again for coming, and thank you all for coming on the program. And I just would like to start by introducing Dharmendra, not by reading his website, but my own personal interactions with him. If you really want to check him out, go check his website out. But I think I met Dharmendra in around 2011, I think, and we got chatting up and he invited me to attend one of his seminars, and I attended it. I found it useful, and he said, "Rishi, you should also do a presentation." And I was like, "I don't know whether I'll be able to do a presentation and get any business." And we did that. We did one. He trained me how to make a presentation, and he gave me the whole guidance, the sequence of how to say what, when to say, and I think it was great because. I think we did the presentation, and on the spot, we got 5 deals closed because of the various strategies that you taught me. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. This guy knows something that I obviously didn't know. And so it's been an interesting journey since for about 8 years, almost a decade now. And I have never looked back. The kind of inputs that he's given me, whether I liked it or didn't like it, when I implemented them, they did work. And so, therefore, I understand that he obviously knows something more about how people think, and he's read more than I have. So, I hardly read books. So, for me, it was great to attend his workshop. I've attended 3 of his invisible selling workshops, and every single time, although the information was similar, I still gained something more every time I attended. So it's like a pleasure listening to you, Dharmendra. I mean, I'm happy that I'm able to now host you online. So thank you so much for doing this for my clients. I know you've invited your clients as well, but I guess what I want to tell people is what if I see the way Dharmendra and me work together, it's like he focuses on the strategy part. Like it's like what do I do with my business? How do I increase my business? It's like the two parts. So what the strategy is, Dharmendra, and how would we like, the platform? Do we do email? Do we do this technology or that technology? So I, being having a background in technology for last, I mean, since '93, so it's like more than 25 years now. That I understand tech to a very large extent, and but with Dharmendra's strategy, I've been able to succeed in my business. I'm hoping very much that today, those of you that have taken out the time to come and attend this program will also gain from it. So, welcome everybody, and let me stop at this point and just get this thing started. So, Dharmendra, I'd like to ask you the first question, and I think if people want to ask questions, they should probably put it in the Q&A box, which some of you guys have already seen. There's a Q&A box. Put it. We'll try and see how many questions we can answer after Dharmendra is finished with his explaining these concepts of invisible selling. So, I'd like to start with what exactly is invisible selling, because maybe some people know about it, maybe some people don't know about it. Right? So best is if you just start off from there, and then let's go from there.
Great. There are so many ways of describing what invisible selling is. I just want to talk about two things about invisible selling. As the name indicates, it is selling that's not visible. It's invisible. We are being influenced by plenty of factors that we have no clue about. Plenty of people think they know why they bought a certain good or service, and research proves that they have no clue why they bought it. Why do people buy soaps? So let's make that interesting by me asking you. And this is, you don't have to think too hard. You don't have to be right, because if you knew everything, then you wouldn't be needing my advice. So why do you think most people buy soaps?
I would think to clean themselves.
That's what plenty of people think. But according to Rory Sutherland, who is one of the biggest behavioral economists in the world, and who's incidentally a real-time practitioner because he's the head of Ogilvy UK. Most people buy the soap just because it makes them smell good. right? You don't need a perfume and a soap to clean your body better. You would clean your body just as well without a perfumed soap, with a soap that doesn't have any perfume, but that wouldn't sell the soap. So similarly, according to some research conducted recently, this was India-specific research, but I'm sure it's applicable to plenty of countries, to almost 90% of the population. That's my opinion. And again, it's much more fun in a question-answer format. So, why do most Indians take holidays or take vacations? What do you think?
Um, for pleasure, for seeing places, to have some entertainment, to have, something like that. I would think. I don't know. I'm guessing I'm going to be wrong with the fact that I got the first one. So,
Yeah, that's a rational answer, right? To take a break,
yeah.
to spend time with the family, to spend time alone, to see exciting places, to try out new food and new places. The real answer, according to the research, is that they want to show others that they have the money to
Oh,
take.
okay. I didn't realize. I didn't think that.
So many pictures on Facebook. Why would anybody take pictures? Why would anybody go on Facebook at all? Because when you're on vacation, you're supposed to take a break. But they're going there to show others that they have the money to take a vacation.
I see.
So that's how crazy the human brain is. That's how counterintuitive. And you said you didn't like some of the strategies. Well, you're not supposed to like them. It's like a pill you're taking. Sorry, just a minute, please. It's like a pill given by a doctor, or it's like health food. It may or may not taste good, but then you just have to swallow it. There's just no two ways about that. So many of people would be uncomfortable with these answers, especially people who think that they're very rational people who buy a soap with a pure functional motive of cleaning themselves or take a vacation just because they want a break. Well, they will obviously be disturbed and probably feel very bad about themselves when they think you're challenging the ways they think about how they take decisions. But more and more research is pointing towards that. So, invisible selling is a study of the real motivations that people have behind the purchase decisions that they make. And as we can see that the real decisions are motivated by invisible things. They themselves are not aware of what these things were. So how do you sell to people where they don't understand that you're selling to them? Or you sell to people, but then you're not utilizing the rational parts of their brains because they themselves are not utilizing the rational parts of their brains. Most decisions are made subconsciously. In fact, the latest research shows that the percentage of the active brain used by people across the world, the conscious part, the conscious decision making that happens in the world versus the unconscious decision making that happens in the world is 0.0004%.
This is research-backed data.
Yes. You can Google Patrick Fagan, Fagan.
Okay.
Just do Patrick Fagan behavioral economics or Patrick Fagan author, and you can find the source of this research. You use only 0.0004% of your brain consciously. The rest of everything you do happens unconsciously. And isn't it shocking that most economics and most sales and marketing teach you only about how to access the conscious part of people's brains? It just doesn't make any sense. So most of what you learn in traditional economics, most of what you learned in traditional sales and marketing seminars and textbooks is completely useless. It's just a waste of time. And it's not just a waste of time, it's dangerous because you tend to think that there is some truth to it. So you got to be very, very careful. And if you're going to do conscious selling, that means you're going to go to a person and tell him the rational benefits of your product. You're going to tell a person to buy a product and try to hard sell yourself. Not only are you not going to sell your product, you're actually going to create a resistance where a person will block you, will block your number, will block you on WhatsApp, or will block you on Facebook. Because that kind of selling, even though it was wrong, worked to some extent in the past because plenty of people couldn't block you. Because plenty of people didn't have anything else to do, and they literally looked upon salespeople as social contact and entertainment. In today's world, it's out of the question. In today's world, if a startup or a Fortune 500 company or an individual consultant does not take sales and marketing as seriously as he takes surgery or he takes taxation or he takes legal advice, he doesn't take marketing at the same level of seriousness as he takes surgery or financial advice or taxation advice, he will fail because one of his competitors or plenty of his competitors will be taking it seriously and there is no way he can compete with them. It's just out of the question. So plenty of people are used to paying a doctor for his time and his advice. They're used to paying a lawyer for his time and advice. But when it comes to sales and marketing, people think it's just common sense. Common sense is one of the most dangerous terms in the English language because it assumes that something is easy. Well, if something is easy, then you don't need to tell me it's common sense because I'll know it's easy. And if it was easy, then most people would be billionaires. In most cases, most businesses don't fail because they have a bad product. They fail because they're not able to market themselves properly. They're not able to market themselves. They're not able to market the companies. They're not able to market the services. So if you analyze the history, analyze the success of various brands, could be Coke, could be Starbucks, could be Kentucky Fried Chicken, you will see that in most cases, most people will agree that these brands don't have the best products in the market. They have very good products, but they don't have the best products necessarily. But still, they're number one in that category. So, biggest brand in the world was Coke. Is Coke the best drink in the market? Highly debatable. The biggest search engine is Google. Is Google the best search engine in the market? Highly debatable. In fact, there are websites devoted to analyzing which is the best website, best search engine in the world. And according to them, on a consistent basis, the best search engine in the world is a search engine called DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. That's great. It might be the best, but nobody's heard of it. I'm sure not a single person listening to this webinar and in all the millions of views that you're going to get later on your YouTube channel. I would be very happy if somebody commenting, yeah, I have heard of this. So we'll know that in a million people, probably 2 or 3 people would have heard of it. And then we can ask them, did you ever visit it? And I'm sure not a single person would have visited it. So you might have the best product in the market. If you don't take marketing seriously, you have no chance of survival. So that's why invisible selling, which is the latest research-backed strategies of selling, are an absolute must. It's not a luxury, it's a must. In fact, I suggest plenty of people understand marketing very seriously before they start the startup, before they start a business. I see so many startups and I've trained thousands of startups and I see plenty of startups starting a business, getting funds from investors and then deciding, okay, now how do I market my product? I said, how did your investors give you money if you didn't know? This is what you're going to need to decide before starting the business, before getting funds from investors. But it's never too late.
So I got a question. When you said, it may not be the best, you might have the best product, but if you don't know how to understand these concepts of invisible selling, you'll not be able to sell it up there. So not great products can become the best selling products.
Oh, absolutely.
But with that analogy, with that information, that so-called fact, Are you? I guess you're not suggesting that with invisible selling you can have a bad product and sell it like the best. That's not possible, right? Like a shitty product, or is that also debatable?
It's not debatable at all. You can definitely sell a shitty product. But it is better. Your risk is much lesser if you have a product which is a good quality product. But if you try too much, if you invest too much of your time, energy, and money in making it a better product and not in marketing it, then you're ultimately going to fail because all your money, time, energy, and money will go towards making the product better. There are so many softwares where there is a software which I bought which fell into this trap of trying to make the software better and better. Every time I would access that software, say once a week, and every time I would access it, it would say 40 updates, 50 updates. How many clients are interested in getting themselves such an updated software? Do they have the time to get the better quality software and to understand the better quality features? So it should have kept these better features in abeyance and released them slowly. And that product is virtually out of the market now. I can't name it for various reasons. So you got to...
Fine. Yeah. I would like to ask you if we can share some strategies where people who are listening to this right now, right after this program, they can implement those strategies and actually see it working for them. Can you talk about a few strategies, invisible selling strategies?
I'm just going to spend a few seconds on a very foundational strategy. And I would suggest that people know more about it through a book that I'm going to suggest and through my web series called the Invisible Selling web series, because that is so foundational and it's so detailed that it would be a 3-hour module by itself. So I'm going to simplify it in about 10 to 15 seconds. These are probably the most important words in selling, marketing, and branding in the world, according to me. And I challenge anybody who challenges me on that. The best way to succeed is to have a brand which is perceived to be unique and useful. It's a very technical definition. It just appears to be a very simple statement, but it's a very, very technical thing where each word is important. Perceived to be unique. You may be unique or you may not be unique, but if you are unique and you're not perceived to be unique, it doesn't count. If you're not unique and you're perceived to be unique, that matters. So, unique. You need to be perceived as unique. If you are unique, if I am going to be a trainer who's going to say, I'm the only trainer in the world who wears all red clothes when I do a session. I'll wear red spectacles and a red shirt and red gloves and red hat. I'm the only trainer in the world who wears all red. People will say, yeah, that's unique, but how's that useful to me?
Yeah.
So you can't be just unique. You can't just be perceived to be unique. You have to be perceived to be useful as well. So let's look at the useful part of the equation. If you are a chartered accountant, if you are a tax consultant, if you are a wealth manager, if you are an IT consultant, you are obviously offering something useful. You don't need to talk about the usefulness because people know it's already useful. But then if you're not unique, then what category of goods and services would your product fall in? What do you call a bunch of goods and services which is useful but not unique? What would be, this is like Jeopardy. I'm giving you the answer and You guess the question. So, what single word would describe a bunch of goods and services which are useful but not unique?
So that's like a commodity. Like
Absolutely. Spot on. And the biggest feature of commodities is that you buy on price.
right.
And that's why you see plenty of people have made fortunes when they've looked around themselves and they said, okay, is there a commodity here which I can turn into a brand? In the 1960s, you could go to a restaurant in the US and you could buy a hamburger, you could buy coffee, you could buy a Subway sandwich. All this was available in a normal restaurant in the US. And somebody called Ray Kroc said, let me just pick one thing from here. Pick the hamburger, branded that, became a billionaire. Guy from Subway just picked the Subway sandwich, branded that, became a billionaire. Howard Schultz picked up coffee, became a billionaire. So commodities don't make money. Brands make money. So you have to be perceived as unique and you have to be perceived as useful. That is a foundational thing. Without it, all the other strategies will fail in a competitive market. And you must assume that every market is a competitive market because you have no clue what your competition is working on right now. So I think at this stage, if before I go on to the other strategy, and we're going to talk about that other strategy in great detail, I'm not able to speak more on the unique and useful perceived strategy because that's too long. But I would be happy to take one question on this. If you have more questions, they can just Google Dharmendra Rai. But I think this is a good time to take one question before we go on to the main strategy that we're going to talk about in detail.
You want one question from the audience, or can I ask a question?
And anything is good.
So if you guys have questions, please use the Q&A, guys. Q&A box at the bottom. Tap your question, and I'll try and see if I can read it out. But the question that I had was that, so if a person either understands that, okay, I have to be unique and useful, only then will I succeed, or is it that I will get minimal success if I'm not unique and useful? I mean, I have to be useful, yes, but I'm not unique. So I'll get, I'm a commodity, I'm like everybody else, and if I can beat the price, I'll get it. So I'll make regular money, not lots of money. Is it that you're saying unique and useful will give you huge amounts of business because that's where the money is, when you're perceived as unique and different and that brand is established? Or are you saying that, no, if you're not unique and useful, then it's a matter of time when you will die? What is your take on that? Is it like you will be destroyed very soon if you are not going to take the effort to make yourself unique and also useful?
Yeah, you will be destroyed because now there are so many people who, because of the structure of the economy, are looking at starting new businesses. And plenty of big companies, they're not lethargic anymore. Right? In the past, plenty of big companies were lethargic, but now they are extremely, extremely agile. So if you don't build a fortress around your business, tear down your house. You cannot afford not to use this strategy. In fact, if you use this strategy, there's still ways in which you can fail because you might mess up on some other strategies.
Right.
But if you don't do these strategies, it's like if you eat healthy food, you can still fall sick. But if you don't eat healthy food, the chances of you falling sick are much, much higher.
Okay, so there is one question, but I'm not sure I understood it. Maybe if you understand it, we'll get it.
Okay.
How do we sell if it's a conscious brand? Do we apply same strategy? Now,
my interpretation is she probably thinks that it's a product which will be bought after a lot of thought and a lot of deliberation. Maybe because it's a high involvement product. It could be high involvement because it's emotionally high involvement, like a greeting card. Nobody buys greeting cards now, but when greeting cards were sold by Hallmark, the greeting card may just cost 30 or 40 rupees, but it's a high involvement thing because every word in that greeting card makes sense. And if it's a big purchase, like let's say somebody's buying a house, people assume that somehow people's brains are going to change and they're going to take rational decisions. The concepts of invisible selling apply whether it is a high involvement, apparently a rational decision, and otherwise. It apply. I have trained almost all the big real estate companies in the country, and I I regret this stupidity on my part when I did a session for a real estate company, one of the top 10 biggest real estate companies in India. One of the participants actually walked up to me and said, a friend of mine is applying your strategies and he's making fantastic profits. And I was so much in cloud nine that I just forgot to act rationally. My rational thing would have been to get the name and telephone number of that person immediately and get a video testimonial from him. Like a fool, I didn't do that. So these guys thought that these strategies don't work in real estate because in real estate, people are investing crores of rupees, so they've done a lot of homework. I said, no, you are in that business. You know the market because you're thinking about real estate 24/7. Right. The client has millions of other things to do. Yeah. He's got cockroaches in his cupboard. He's got his wife harassing him. He's got his boss harassing at him. He's got his teenage children taking drugs. He's got Netflix. He has got millions of things to do. You think every client coming is like a supercomputer. He knows everything. He knows what's happening across the street and what the price is of that guy. Most people don't know. Maybe some of them will, yeah. But even those guys are not as rational as you think. So even as a multi-crore purchase, there are lots of non-rational elements which will be rationalized by them involved. So it's real estate companies are just learning how to market themselves. They have a long way to go.
Great. Okay, so would you like to go to another strategy at this point? I think Lavita did say yes, right, when you started talking. So I think you obviously have answered such a question in the past. So you probably figured what she was trying to ask. So Lavita, we hope you got your answer. Would you like to go to maybe another strategy which they can apply? I mean, in this case of is there something they need to consult with you to say, hey, how do we position ourselves uniquely? Or do you feel that's something that they can just go to your online videos and understand what does unique mean and how to position themselves uniquely? Because you said it's easier than said in like 10 seconds, but the meaning of unique has to be understood. So they have to just go to search on YouTube. What do they type? Invisible selling, and
there are two resources. One is just search for invisible selling web series, and they'll see this pop up. Then plenty of videos will pop up. One of them will be U2, which is the short form I've devised for unique and useful.
U2, like a capital U and 2, no spaces.
Correct. Just like the music band U2.
Okay, so invisible selling web series U2.
Yeah.
That's it. Good. I'll just put that in the chat so that you search for it on YouTube and then watch it and hopefully get an in-depth understanding what the heck is unique mean from the a holistic point of view. Because just taking one line and thinking this is unique because it is red color, they shouldn't be maybe kuch karega, and then they'll get the wrong idea and it'll be a total disaster. So great. There's another question coming in, but I guess we can go to the second one and then we can try and take this existing question a little later after you share, because I'm sure people are here to look at some more. If you can give one more strategy now, that would be great. Can you give one more strategy?
So the second and last strategy, and this strategy, I'm going to give it in such detail that people can immediately implement it and start benefiting.
Marvelous.
So and obviously, all these strategies can be used through emailing, online, offline, on the website, B2B, B2C, everywhere. Now, specifically in emailing, the first thing that people are going to see is the subject. If the subject is not attractive, then many people won't even open the email. One of the most powerful ways to get them excited about the subject is to offer something for free. Okay, now, plenty of people will probably be very disappointed thinking, "Arey, I thought he's going to talk about something really PhD level and ye kya hai, to free, to even I know about free." Now, that's the dangerous part uh, in medicine. People will presume they know nothing, even though they know something. But in marketing, they'll presume they know everything, though they know nothing. Just because they've seen somebody use a free strategy before, they think that, oh yeah, even I know what a free strategy is. No, you are going to know some things about the free strategy that you never knew, and some precautions about the free strategy, which if you don't implement, you will make huge losses. So first of all, let's go to how powerful is the free strategy. People already know that, yeah, free is powerful. Everybody wants free stuff, but it is much more powerful than most people think. So there is a gentleman called Dan Ariely, who is one of the best, one of the most communicative behavioral economics experts in the world, and plenty of them are really very bad in communication. And that's why that's very good for me, because I think my communication skills are much better than plenty of behavioral economics people across the world. He devised an experiment where he had people walk into a huge field, and he had people at one end offering Lind chocolates and people at one end offering Hershey's chocolates. Okay, Lind chocolates are premium chocolates. They're like the Mercedes-Benz of chocolates. Chocolate piece was available at 15 cents, 15 cents. That's the Lind corner. And the Hershey's corner, each piece was available for 1 cent. Okay, so the difference in price was 14 cents. And people could buy either one. If they bought Lind, then they cannot buy Hershey's, and vice versa. Most people bought Lind chocolates. 70%, 70% people bought Lind chocolates, presumably because they had heard about the brand or they had bought that brand before. Maybe the packaging of the brand was very nice, the smell was very nice, the texture was very nice. They wanted to show off, oh, see, I'm eating, take a selfie and show others I'm eating Lind, whatever. The point is, 70% of them were so convinced with Lind that they were happy to pay 14 cents, 1,400% more than Hershey's. So the next phase of the experiment was reducing the price of both products by 1 cent. So Lind now becomes 14 cents and Hershey's becomes 0 cents. And a similar crowd, same demographics, psychographics, age group, income level, background, same crowd comes in. Now, if the useless things that we read about in traditional economics were true, that people take rational decisions, then there would be no change in the percentage of people who bought Lind versus Hershey's, because the price difference was the same at 14 cents. Okay, I was personally very shocked to see this, because I would have continued with Lind. I was willing to pay 14 cents more, so why would I change my mind if this is free? But I guess many people don't think the way I think. So first it was 70% Lind, 30% Hershey's. When this was 15 and this was 1. When this was 14 and this was 0, the numbers just flipped. Hershey's now became 70% and Lind became 30%. absolutely shocking. Just because Hershey's is free now, people change their willingness to pay 40 cents more for Hershey's and ran towards the Hershey's option. It's completely shocking, completely irrational. But that is the way most people think. And I have seen, I'm talking about some of my personal experiences, not offering that as a research. The research is done by credible people like Dan Ariely and Nobel Prize laureates. I'm just talking about my anecdotes because it makes it more lively. So I was selling ceasefire fire extinguishers. Each fire extinguisher was about 450 rupees. And I was selling door to door. It was so easy to sell that time. I didn't use my brains. All I used was just my physical energy. Kept on knocking door to door and asking people, you don't have fire extinguishers, buy a fire extinguisher. And I managed to be the number 2 salesman in the Pune branch, which had 24 salesmen. So in the past, you could just work hard without brains and make money. I just never used any strategy. I wasn't thinking, I wasn't analyzing, I wasn't reading books. I was just a brainless bull in a china shop. And I went to a guy living in a big house, a big bungalow. And he came out and he said, no, I don't want to buy this. It's too expensive. And why don't you give me a discount? I said, I can give you a discount if you buy it for the company. So you don't buy it for your house, but you buy it for the company and then you take it from the company. So he's like swiping company supplies, so he gets it for free. And it just worked. I mean, he immediately he called me to his company the next day, bought 12 pieces and took 1 piece for his house. Right? I was absolutely shocked. How does it work? But I was so foolish that time that I didn't sit down and think, okay, what's going on? Should I use a strategy elsewhere? I was just using energy. And the second is when I was doing a mind map workshop for, I get called by plenty of companies to do 1-hour sessions. I'm like an item girl in a full day seminar of boring speakers. So let's take a break. You've got a seminar on mergers and acquisitions. Let's take a 1-hour break. We'll just have some fun quizzes about the brain and fun training about the brain. So they're a senior executive from one of the top 10 companies in the country. He attended that session and he kept on following up. I want to come to your session, to your full day session. I said, yeah, here's the payment link. Here are the details. No, I want to come for free. So I just told him, I said, no, it's not possible. And it's just $10,000, which for you is like free. What's the big deal? And he asked me for the free seminar 2 or 3 times. So then I said, okay, let's try this old strategy. I said, why don't you organize for your company? Then you will be able to sit in for free, right? You don't spend a single rupee. And obviously, when I charge a company, it's in 6 figures. And it worked.
Yeah.
So people who are earning in crores, they're billionaires, millionaires, billionaires, centi-billionaires. Even if they get something worth 100 rupees or 200 rupees for free, they are literally like happy puppies wagging their tails and running towards it. It's disgusting. It's totally irrational, but I have seen people make complete fools of themselves, behave completely irrationally. I mean, how can that executive justify this decision? If he wants to save 10,000 rupees, so he pays me 6 figures to do a session for his name. I mean, yeah, obviously he felt it was some value for the company, but then it should not be dictated. This should not be the decision-making process. So there are lots of anecdotes, but why is this very, very powerful? And it's very powerful because of a tendency, a documented psychological phenomenon called loss aversion. talk to any of your friends in private, not in public, because in public everybody lies. Ask them if they have got any share on which they're sitting on a notional loss. Okay, if I buy a share at 100 rupees and that share price is now 50 rupees, I haven't sold that share. So it's not a cash loss. It's not an actual loss. It is a notional loss. If I sell it at 50 rupees, I am booking a loss at 50 rupees. So there is less pain now because now it's a notional loss. But if I book it, it's like I'm biting a bullet. And if that person is going to have an honest conversation with you, and he'll tell you, yeah, I have this share, I bought it 100 rupees and it's now 50 rupees. And you ask him, do you think it's really going to go to 100? Because just for you to recover your money, it's got to increase by 100% just for you to recover money. Okay, do you make a profit? Just for you to recover money, it's got to double in price. Even if it does, in that same period, maybe there are better investments. Plenty of people will admit, if they're speaking honestly, that they have this, and the only thing that they know, it's an irrational thing. They know that logically they should immediately book loss and start using that money productively somewhere else, but they're not able to do it because booking the loss is very, very painful. It is irrationally painful. It's okay if it's painful, but it should be proportionate. Your pain should be proportionate to the loss. If you're losing 5,000 rupees or you're losing 10,000 rupees, or if somebody is worth 100 crore rupees and loses 10 crore rupees, big deal. He's not going to die, his family is not going to suffer. But the brain treats it as life-threatening. Even a small loss is treated as life-threatening by the brain because if you did not have food when you were a caveman, you could die very easily. Right? The concept of profit did not exist in caveman days. You could not store value because money did not exist. Everything was perishable. So if you hunted today, or if you've gotten some fruits from a tree, you're going to consume them in 3 or 4 hours. And you intuitively know, though you're not educated, though you're a caveman, you intuitively know, okay, I need this much food. If I had this much food, it doesn't make me happy. So people don't get as excited by profits or by excess or by pleasure. They get much more influenced by loss than by pleasure. So they get disproportionately affected by a small loss. Because if they don't have food, it was a life-threatening situation when we were kids. So losing something has been linked to death, and that link has stayed in the brains because the brains have not evolved. So when you understand that that's the way your brain is behaving, because that's the way your brain behaved millions of years ago, and you know that your brain is behaving irrationally, that at least you can get some semblance of sanity and look at it in a more detached, in a more rational way. But that's the reason why free is so powerful. Because when something is free, first of all, nothing is free. It is perceived to be free. Everything is a function of time, energy, and money. So if somebody is offering you an ebook for free, he's at least getting your attention. So you're paying with your attention, which is one of the most valuable currencies in the world today. So when you say something is free, the caveman brain is assuming that this is free, hence there's no loss because there's no investment. And hence it is very attractive. Completely irrational, but that's the way it works. So I'm just going to end up free with 2 very important precautions. So free is very powerful. You should use free as much as possible. But if you don't use it with these 2 precautions, you will fail very, very badly. So the first thing is never offer your core product for free. somebody from a top multinational company, probably among the top 100 companies in the world, a person, executive from there, asking me for the full day session for free for his senior executives. And I said, look, the maximum I can do is 1 hour. He said, that's not enough. I said, then it's not possible. And this was a physical conversation. It was not on the phone or on the email. And he just wouldn't get the message. He just wouldn't get the message. He kept on saying, yeah, but we need to really understand this. So you need to do a bigger session for us. I said, okay, now I really cannot be diplomatic with this guy anymore. I took him aside and I said, look, I will not do more than 1 hour session for you for free. If that means that you will never give me a session in your life, that's perfectly fine. This is my policy. Only after that he understood that only after that he got off my back. So yeah, you don't feel like saying this to prospective clients, but then if you are not going to be firm, they're going to walk all over you because every big company tries to squeeze its vendors. That's part of the game. So if you don't have these invisible selling concepts in your mind clear and your policy is clear and the rationale behind it, you will get swayed. You will ask yourself, oh my gosh, I'm losing this. That's another strategy called scarcity. He's applying on you. And you say, oh my gosh, I'm losing this. I got to just throw myself at it. You're finished. You will never be able to get the success that you have the potential of getting.
So you said there were two things. Or this was just the one thing that never offer your core product for free. Was there a second part to the thing to remember when you're doing something for free? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the
second thing is, let's say you are a fashion brand. And this example is from Prada. Prada is a fashion brand which was offering a lady's dress and it offered a perfume bottle for free. Now, credible research was done. There were two groups. This was the control group and the trial group. The trial group was shown the offer. They said, okay, look at this. This is a dress. And along with the dress, if you bought the dress for so and so price, you would get this perfume bottle for free. What do you think is the worth of the price of the perfume bottle if the perfume bottle was sold independently? And on this side, you had the control group, which was not shown the dress. They were only shown the perfume bottle. They said, look at this bottle. If you felt like buying this perfume, how much would you be willing to pay for it? Now, the control group, the group that saw only the perfume bottle, was willing to pay much more than the group that saw the bottle being offered as free along with the dress. Which is pretty intuitive, right? Because somebody is giving you a perfume bottle for free along with the dress. The first thought in your mind is, they must not be able to sell the perfume. They're just moving some inventory anyway. Or it's some promo. They got some new perfume, they want to try it out and all that. So the enthusiasm drops substantially for that. So how do you counter that? You counter that by telling them the value of that free product that you're offering along with your regular service or product. In that case, okay, they stop thinking. You already told them the value. Now they don't have to think, trying to understand, oh, what's the value of this? Is it really worth it? So that research says effectively stops them from thinking of the free product as an inferior product. So if you subscribe to my blog, Dharmendra Rai blog, and my YouTube channel, Dharmendra Rai, I have taken videos of large companies who have implemented this well and who not implement this. And plenty of multinational companies are offering plenty of things and did not mention the value of that. So you can imagine how much money they're losing, or how much sales they're losing. So I think that
I have a question on that second point, if I can ask. Okay, because for example, I like to offer free webinars because it gives me an opportunity to engage with my audience. They get to see the people that I interview. They get to see the things I talk about. But I don't have a price for the webinar. Does that free, because I apply the free strategy, right? I want them to come for the webinar. The service might be an email marketing platform, right? I'll say, okay, you guys saw the invisible selling strategies. Here, I'm going to follow up with all those who attended. We said that in case you'd like to use these strategies and use email as a way to communicate, I can give you a platform to do that. So my core product is email marketing platform, and the webinar is free. The webinar is free. I managed to get you to come and talk to my prospects and clients. So how do I put a value to this webinar, or do I not have to give a value? Because you said you have to mention the price of the free thing so that it is not like, ye kya, free mein hai. What is your, can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so this does not fall in that category. There, a service or product was offered and something was offered free along with that. So this is not in that category.
Okay.
You don't plan to charge for webinars.
Right.
Maybe even if you plan to charge and don't make money there, you don't care because you're offering website making and emailing, and that's your core business.
That's fine.
So now one last tip for free is that, and this applies to all invisible selling strategies, is all the strategies that I'm giving are very practical strategies. You don't need several crore rupees to implement these strategies. Otherwise, there's no point. I see plenty of marketing consultants out there who say they're marketing consultants and who are offering search engine optimization where they'll charge you ₹1,00,000 a month and they'll suggest Google AdWords where each advert will be ₹5,000 or ₹10,000. I just don't know what's the utility of these marketing consultants. All the strategies in invisible selling are possible to implement either for free or at a very, very low cost. And this free strategy, it can be implemented for free. It's that powerful. You can get a free ebook. You can get a free something from somewhere which is already offered free. But don't make the assumption that your target market knows about that product and knows that that product is available for free somewhere else. You have curated that free product for him. So there can be plenty of videos you have that you've studied, you've analyzed, and maybe you can summarize those videos on a blog of yours and offer that. So it's free plus your comments, plus plenty of ebooks. Some people know that there are plenty of free ebooks available. Plenty of people don't.
So I think most of the times the ebooks that are available for free ebooks that are pretty good. Usually the only reason I think we can't use it is because the call to action in that ebook is to take the business to that guy's website or that guy's product or that guy's services. So that's the only time you might want to invest and make your own free ebook, because then you can put the call to action to come back to you rather than go to your mentor or your guru or competitor. So you don't want to use their free stuff. Okay, this is great. We have one question from Rajiv. Can we take that now?
Okay.
Shah says that he sells meditation chairs. If I want to offer the back pain support cushion or a music CD or a meditation audio link free, then how to make the offer and show the importance of the cushion? Does that question help? You know what he's trying to get at? Or
this is very easy. There are some Korean companies doing this in a very smart way. They sell chairs which vibrate. Apparently, the vibration is supposed to make you healthier. And they have these centers where you can go to that center. Once you sit on those chairs, there are people literally coming every day. You can sit there for a maximum of 1 hour. So that you can literally see a hall full of people, plenty of people waiting in queue to sit in that chair of a Korean company for free. Plenty of them ultimately feel like buying that product Or there are plenty of other cheap products, some back rubber and some massager for the head or something. Now they feel compelled to buy it because they're getting this for free. And some people get so addicted to that massage chair, even the massage chair must be costing a few lakh rupees. They're happy to buy it because they can't come every day. And they can't get their whole family every day. So you can have that meditation chair, you can have a communal chair and invite people there at some place and maybe sit there for 15 minutes, see how it feels. You can come every day, want to sit for 15 minutes, go ahead, we'll give you a token. And then you get lots of time.
I know Rajiv, I think in his case, he doesn't have a retail outlet like the example that you're sharing. He has it on his website. He stocks. Sorry?
Call them anywhere. If it's free, people will come to Everest also.
I doubt that. But anyway, but thanks.
Oh, you will be shocked. You will be shocked. People will spend, if I offer this pen, okay, if instead of this pen, it's a Parker pen worth 200 rupees, jotter, refill, wet ink, gel ink and all that, and it's worth 200 rupees and I say it's for free, come to my house to collect it, people will spend 1,000 rupees to collect this pen which costs 200 rupees. If you don't believe it, do it.
No, I know when we used to do the webinars, when we used to do seminars.
Exactly. Yeah. So seminars is where they spend a lot of money on a free product. So I have this saying in my book. It's an original saying. People will do anything for something that's free, even pay for it.
Well, that's a great one. I think that is fabulous information. And I just like to leave. There are no more questions. We'll probably close it right now. And I just wanted to say that for those of you guys that want to watch the recording who came in late, I'm just going to click on the YouTube channel where you will be able to subscribe and get it hopefully by this evening or tomorrow. And for those of you guys that want to get in touch with Dharmendra Rai, you just go and on your phone and type OK Google, and then the Google will come up and just say Dharmendra Rai. And then you'll get all the details you need about Dharmendra. Sorry. So I got all your Google News videos. Google News Dharmendra Rai coverage. Wow. Interesting. So you'll get everything about Dharmendra Rai, and including his website and email address. I think email is the best way to get in touch with Dharmendra. Dharmendra, you've been fun to listen to always, and also get a lot of insights when you speak to all of us. So thanks for today, and hope to have more conversations with you maybe on some other topic.
Sure. So I want to leave the audience by telling them that they can read my book for free. They just have to search for Dharmendra Rai Amazon, and they can read it for free on Amazon Kindle. And you have to implement it. You can think of a great thing to offer for free in your email. But if you're not going to send the email in a technologically scientific way through Rishi, if you're going to send an email which starts with Dear Sir, Madam, if you're going to send an email which is going to go to spam, I mean, you're just wasting time. There's no point. You have to take marketing very seriously. Every small aspect of marketing needs to be taken very seriously. So if it's an email, each and every word there, each and every word in the subject, each and every word in the email, looking at all these marketing checklists and technological checklists about that email is absolutely critical. Otherwise, there's no point. You're just going to waste your time, energy, and money.
I just want to add that for those of you that don't have a bulk email system, me and Dharmendra, we use a bulk email system to keep in touch with our customers. And for those of you that would like to have a free trial, it's not for free, it's a free trial. We give a certain cap. Within a certain limit, you can send free emails just to test it out. We have I'm just going to send you a link. It's bulkmail.webdudes.in. So go ahead and take a look at that service if you want to try out a free bulk email system. And then you can use, when you're composing a message, a campaign for your customer, you can try these strategies, which Dharmendra has talked about. And if you want to know more, Dharmendra does workshops and he does one-to-one consultations. And of course, he charges for that. There are different prices for different things. You can connect with him offline and get to know how to consult with your specific users if you want to do a one-on-one session. But I strongly recommend stay tuned with his workshops because it's power packed with information, and I've always written lots of notes whenever I go there. And it's much cheaper to go to his workshop than to get his one-to-one consulting. But if you really need the one-to-one attention, it'll be totally worth it if you go and get consulting from him also. I think that's it from our side. Did you want to say anything else, Dharmendra, before we close?
You got to, if you haven't been doing bulk emailing, then you must go to Rishi, because that's the most cost effective way to market your services. And if you have already been doing bulk emailing, then you must go to Rishi, because you're doing it all wrong.
All right. So thanks for that last one, guys. Remember that. Come to me for bulk email. Okay. Bye, guys. Take care.
Okay, see you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye. See you.